Coming up, neck lumps, exposition dumps, and moo-moo frumps. We're also going to drink, make a quick phone call out into the ether, and we're going to totally ignore the advice of clergy and see if we can get possessed. Maybe you'll get possessed. Maybe you'll get repossessed. We don't know. Not to mention, finally, we're going to succumb to peer pressure and discuss the Conjureverse during the Ask the Goat segment. All of this and ever so much more on this malefically malignant episode of Kiss the Goat. X.
And I'm Cootie, and this is Kiss the Goat. The surprisingly heavy and annoyingly creaky doors to the online shrine to Satanic cinema have once again swung open wide. Leave your weapons at the door, kick your shoes off, and kiss your sanity goodbye. The candles have been lit, Stephanie has been deloused, and the ritual is about to begin. Pull up a chair and sit on the floor, and remember, all are welcome here in the dark.
This is episode 55 of Kiss the Goat, and welcome to it. We've talked a lot about demonic possession and Catholicism and exorcism on this show because, fuck, do you know us? Do you know who we are and what we do? Jesus. God damn. But folks, welcome to the show. This particular episode is going to be a little bit different.
Tell them why.
Because it's our show and we can do what we want.
Well, yeah, but tell them why. What makes this episode different from all other episodes?
Because this is my birthday episode.
That's right. X is celebrating his birthday as of this recording, which is a few days in the past from when you're listening to this. But anyway, tell them how old you are.
No.
Go on, tell them how old you are.
No, what the fuck is this? Like some kind of horrible office party where we just get a sheet cake from the Publix and decorate the conference room with a bunch of black balloons that say, over the hill, or you're going to die soon, or chomp that grave dirt with your discount false teeth, motherfucker.
All right, fine. You don't have to tell the people that you're 52 years old now.
God damn it, woman. Fine. 52 years old. Are you happy now?
Well, I'm happy we decided that for this episode you get to pick any movie you wanted.
Well, it's a gift to me. I can't guarantee it's going to be a good thing for anybody else.
On this episode of KTG, we are going to look at a possession movie of a different kind with the pseudo-Native American horror movie William Girdler's The Manitou.
Look, I enjoyed this weird fucking movie, and guess what? I'm old, so I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks.
I think Stephanie said she was going to make you a birthday cake.
Oh, great. Yeah, let the feral girl who lives on our fucking cellar into the kitchen. Let her work an oven. Great idea. Honestly, though, a chocolate cake sounds good. I would like that. That seems nice.
Yeah?
I probably wouldn't eat all of it because it's too rich for an old fucker, but, a nice just 3-layer chocolate cake, that I would accept that.
Oh, I think that's sweet, Grandpa.
What?
Well, we do have 2 grandbabies.
It doesn't mean you get to call me Grandpa. Fuck.
Well, before we get into X's birthday celebration, let's get into something else. It is time for the Devil in the Details, our roundup of snippets of Satan stuff.
This episode's story takes 2 of the things we love to talk about, horror movies and the devil, and smashes them together into one big bologna and potato chip sandwich.
Ew, you would eat that?
Oh, on white bread. Moist, close to molding white bread.
That's gross.
With mayonnaise.
That's nasty.
Well, there seems to be an outbreak of demon possession in the Philippines, and according to Father Ronnie Ablong, it might be Ablong. It looks like Ablong. I don't know. Anyway, Father Ronnie, he says that some of the possessions can be attributed to watching horror movies.
Yeah, Ablong has been conducting exorcisms in the Philippines since at least 2018. He insisted in the investigation of students at a school in Siquijor, I think is how you pronounce that, all of whom seemed to display symptoms of demonic possession. To Ablong's credit, he said at the time that there was not enough proof to definitively blame Satan for the behavior of the students, who seemed to be easily agitated when not in a trance state.
Oh, it just sounds like puberty.
Right?
That just sounds like somebody didn't get to watch episodes of Daria when they were young. Boo fucking oh.
Ablong said that living in sin or practicing occult rituals could lead to individuals being possessed.
Oh, we're fucked.
I know, right? When Ablong took over a parish in Dumaguete. Y'all bear with me.
Yeah,
I don't know these Philippine names.
We don't know how to say words.
Anyway, when he took over this parish, he was immediately presented with a woman who was allegedly possessed by Satan.
The woman admitted that she had cast a spell on somebody and that her family had a tradition of practicing witchcraft. She must have also come from a tradition of watching American horror movies.
Here's part of a Facebook post Ablong wrote in March 2021. I have been exorcising a young woman for many weeks now. 39 demons have already been cast out. 5 of these demons come from the movies the demoniac had watched. The names of the demons are either the primary or secondary characters of these movies.
Oh boy. Here we go.
First, Valak from the movie The Nun.
Oh god, that movie sucked.
Second, it gets better, hang on. Second, Esme Cullen from the movie Twilight.
I never saw it. I never saw Twilight because I respect my filthy self far too much to subject myself to that kind of madness.
Third, Sylvia Ganesh from the movie Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, the old woman who tried to kill the blonde girl with office supplies in the car. That's a great movie. Fuck. We covered Drag Me to Hell years ago, back on episode 29, if anybody really wants to hear us love that movie out loud.
Fourth, Diana Walter from the movie Lights Out.
Okay, I saw Lights Out. We own Lights Out. I barely remember what the fuck happened in Lights Out. Was Diana Walter really like a demon, or did she just hate bright rooms like a Mogwai? Like,
Bright light.
Don't feed Diana after midnight.
Well, fifth, Annabelle from the movie Annabelle.
Oh, fuck you. What?
Yep.
Goddamn Raggedy Ann? Okay, to be fair, the first Annabelle movie was kind of boring, but the 2 sequels were actually pretty good as far as the Conjureverse goes.
Well, Ablong goes on to say, warning, please do not mention or pronounce their names, because doing so will empower them or you will be harassed.
Ah, okay. So don't say the names.
Right.
Of the fictional characters.
Right.
Like we just did.
Yep.
Does that work? I mean, are you possessed right now? Are any of our acolytes possessed right now after that? Can we do that with other non-existent characters?
I don't know.
Pazuzu.
I mean, maybe we should exercise some caution.
Damien Thorne.
Okay, we get it.
Casper.
Perfect. What if we're liable now, X? What if somebody says they're going to sue us because they got possessed by, I don't know, fucking Frankenhooker because they heard us say their name?
Fuck litigation. Let them go to the Philippines and let Rabbi Name Drop work on them.
It's Father Ablong.
What the fuck ever.
Well, Father Ablong says he wants to warn everyone of the certain danger of patronizing horror films or films that delve with magic and witchcraft, and that no one is possessed overnight. Possession is the result of opening a lot of doors to the devil. These doors include occultism, divination, necromancy, magic, sorcery / witchcraft, etc., and living a habitual life of mortal sin.
Necromancy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only person that I've ever seen attempt to bring something back from the dead was a devout Christian.
Yeah, how'd that work out for him?
It did not work at all.
Well, I mean, isn't Christianity sort of based on necromancy? I mean, Jesus did allegedly come back from the dead.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I never read about anyone using hoodoo to beckon him from the back of beyond. I mean, he just sort of showed up 3 days after the crucifixion. He was like the guy who finally comes to the party when it's winding down, and he's sort of pissy about it. He's like, come on, man, the night's young.
Yeah, that asshole. Well, I couldn't find any videos online of Father Ablong doing long, extended exorcism rituals or whapping people on the back of their heads with a Blu-ray copy of Rosemary's Baby, but I just can't get behind him claiming he was trying to cast fictional demons out of a woman.
That would be like if I was convinced that I was a professional musician because I was possessed by the spirits of Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Lawrence Welk.
Shit. If you said Lawrence Welk was a demon, I'd probably fucking believe it.
Regardless, the fact that Father Ablong says the subject of his exorcism was possessed by a character from Twilight? Fucking Twilight? Is she Team Edward? I mean, does her piss sparkle? I don't know, but to me, that indicates that the woman has an overactive imagination and maybe some mental issues that could be lessened with psychiatric help.
Look, we got to give our standard warning here. Remember, guys, exorcists are everywhere. Remain vigilant. Don't get suckered by these sick fuckers.
It's about spectacle, it's about control, and it's about money. Your money.
I mean, I'm sure Father Ablong thinks he's doing a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's the right thing. Hey, why are all the candles in the shrine birthday candles?
Well, because it's your birthday and we want you to have fun.
Okay, you're freaking me out right now.
Hey, Stephanie set all this up. Aren't you pleased? Are you not entertained?
Well, I mean, that's sweet and all, but I'll feel better when we get to talk about this episode's movie, which is a gigantic pile of mishmash and mumbo-jumbo that I have loved for decades.
Well then, get ready to groove on your birthday present. Shh, it's movie time.
Birthday, and I do want me to have fun, so I have chosen the classic from 1978, The Manitou, directed by William Girdler, one of the greatest schlock directors of all time. Girdler directed the classic nature run-amok movies Grizzly and Day of the Animals. He was a Kentucky boy, much like myself, and I could probably talk about Girdler more than anybody would care to listen to.
Yeah, if you could keep from stumbling over his name. I mean, Girdler, that's kind of a hard thing to say. It almost sounds like you've messed it up in the middle of it.
It's especially hard when you're half lit.
Girdler.
Girdler.
Anyway, the Manitou stars, of all people, Tony fucking Curtis, as a charlatan reader of tarot cards who finds himself sucked into the metaphysical madness when one of his ex-lovers finds herself in the hospital with a ginormous mass on her neck.
Michael Ansara shows up as the Native American shaman who winds up being the last best hope for the woman with the mass behind her head.
Isn't that an old Smith song?
The girl with the mass on her neck. Behind the throbbing there lies a thunderous desire for exorcism.
Okay, you can stop now.
That was by Morrissey. Do you like that? That was drunk Morrissey.
It's fine. Just don't do it again.
Let's get into the Manitou in all of its 1970s glory. We start off in a hospital, and doctors are looking at the x-rays of the lump on the woman's neck, and it's growing, what was it, like 7.3 millimeters per hour?
Yes, something ridiculous. And they're like, It looks like a fetus.
They're fucking stuck. In the office where they're looking at the x-rays, one of the doctors finds he's looking at like this pregnancy chart on the wall, like, here's how babies work from 0 to whatever it is, 38 weeks. And he's like,
the size of a bean. It's the size of an avocado. Oh, it's the size of a cantaloupe.
Oh my God. So they're looking at each other and they're like, could this possibly be a neck pregnancy? So then we cut to Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis's character's name is Harry Erskine. Erskine does tarot readings for old women, old rich women. So it's like, I'm going to tell these ladies what they want to hear. They're going to give me money and everything is going to be just fine. Now, his first client, he gives this bitch hell. He's just like, oh, you're not going to have a great week. You're going to drop something on your foot and there'll be pain. Oh, so much pain. It'll be painting with the pain. And then you're going to get cheated during your weekly bridge game. And then on Thursday, you're going to have gas. You're going to have you're just going to be farting up a storm. It's going to be terrible.
That's kind of like the producers.
It's
right? He's just smooching all these old women to get their money.
It's a lot like the producers. And before this woman leaves, she demands that Erskine give her mystic motto. And I have to say, this line of dialogue is one of my favorite pieces of dialogue for
Guard well the pips.
Guard well the pips, and the fruit shall grow without let. And it's so cheesy, even he can't remember how it goes 10 seconds after he fucking said it. But that is, to me, one of the finest pieces of American writing I've ever heard in my life.
It's good sage life advice, man.
It is.
Just guard your fucking pips.
If you're going to have a mystic motto,
it should be that.
You can't do much better than guard well the pips. Oh, if only he'd said that to Gladys Knight. When the woman leaves, Curtis rips the fake mustache off of his face, kind of slaps it onto a pole, goes into his living room, turns on some shitty instrumental disco music, and pours a beer into a wine glass and just sits down for a luxurious evening of bachelorhood.
It was the champagne of beers.
I couldn't tell what it was because it was one of those old steel cans with the pull tabs.
Well, I mean, it was that gold with the fucking red font. I'm pretty sure that was a...
I hope it was. I hope it was a Miller High Life because that man deserved to have a champagne of beers after dealing with Mrs. What's-Her-Face with the bad moo-moo and the terrible hair who gave him a lot of money hoping she could kiss him on the face lips.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, while Tony Curtis is enjoying his fine wine glass full of Pilsner, he gets a phone call from Tumor Girl. It's Karen. Her name's Karen, and she's played by, was that Susan Strasberg?
I don't know. She had pretty hair, though.
She had very pretty hair. It was Susan Strasberg. I wish that Susan Strasberg, she wasn't wearing, okay. It's understandable why, okay, because she's got a fucking fist on her neck, okay?
Oh, is that why? I thought it was just because it was the 70s.
Well, that too, but I mean, now it serves two purposes. First of all, it's this horrible orange sort of silky ascot scarf, and she wears it a lot. So I think
it was attached to her blouse, though. Do you remember when that was a thing? When blouses had this weird long scarf thing attached, and you would have to, like, tie it up?
Why would you do that to clothes?
Because the 70s.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, no, it was totally attached to the shirt. It was the same color. It was like this salmon. I'm sure it was rayon from Hell to Breakfast. But yeah, it had like an attached neck scarf thingy.
I totally did not pick up on that because I was too busy wondering about, the fucking rock on the back of her neck that kept growing and growing.
Women's clothing, man.
Shoo, that's awful. Apparently, Tumor Girl, Karen, and Harry Erskine used to have a thing. And so he meets her in a park a San Francisco park, which has like a nice Buddha statue and kind of a
It's a
wooden
really
bridge.
pretty park.
It's really, really pretty. So she tells him about the tumor on her neck and that they've got surgery scheduled. And he's like, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. So they take about, Jesus Christ, it felt like they took 7 days
Yeah.
to rekindle their relationship, which ended up with them getting out of a cab in front of Harry Erskine's place. Of course, come on up for a drink. Come on
How
in.
about another beer?
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you okay to drive home? Whatever. While he's up there with Karen, he says, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do a spread. Let's do a read on your upcoming surgery.
And then he immediately regrets it.
It was a bad idea because he does not even a full Celtic cross, just a 5-card spread.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember seeing the devil card.
He pulled the tower.
He pulled the tower.
And the devil.
And topped it all off with...
Death.
Death! The
There
death
was another card. What else did he pull? The tower, the devil. Another major arcana card.
Yeah, where was the minor arcana in his readings?
It wasn't in that one, that's for sure. He had the full deck, though. But the funniest thing was, he pulled all of those cards direct, and he was like, oh, no, that was just, that one doesn't count, that was practice or some shit. And then he shuffles them again. He's like, I know, you've got to cut the cards. So she cuts them, and then he pulls the same exact cards again in reverse.
Which you gotta think just cancels out the original spread.
You gotta think that's a bad fucking day. I would stay in the fucking house. Be like, nope, I'm under the covers.
Yeah, we are rescheduling this surgery because fuck it, no. This is not great. So, being a gentleman, Harry Erskine kind of puts her to bed on a pallet on the floor in front of the fireplace while he sleeps on the couch. But while she's asleep, Karen, the tumor girl, starts muttering something in a foreign language. And Harry's...
You've done that.
Oh, yeah. Have I said fucking Panna Witchy Salitu?
No, thankfully. I think I'd kick you in the ribs and tell you to take it back.
Because that's the phrase Karen says in her sleep, is Panna Witchy Salitu, which just sounds like something you'd say in a Scooby-Doo episode to make the secret panel open.
It does.
The next day, Erskine drops her off for surgery, and he's like, I got nothing to do. I can wait. And she's like, no, that's fine. You've got a client. What would Mrs. Hertz do without you? Mrs. Hertz. Oh, she also has a bad day. Now
she's great though. This had like, I don't know, it had like Exorcist 3 feels, this scene with Mrs. Hertz.
Okay, I want to get to that, but I need to jump back because while Erskine's waiting for Mrs. Hertz to show up, they're trying to do the operation in the hospital. And they've got Karen knocked out, and they've got everything covered up except that lump on her neck. Karen's in the operating theater. The doctor's there. He's about to cut into her neck. And right as he's about to start slicing, she wakes up. And the surgeon, with the scalpel in his hand, you can tell he's not intending to do this. Like something else is making him pull the scalpel towards his fist. It's against his will.
Marvin Mind Power.
Yeah, it's damn it is Marvin Mind Power. So he cuts himself on the back of the wrist, and then, that's going to stop any operation because that's cross-contamination. So Karen's back in her hospital room. No surgery was done. She still got that thing on the back of her neck.
That just keeps getting bigger.
By at least 7 millimeters an hour.
It's kind of like that, it's kind of like Igor in,
Young Frankenstein.
Yes, in fact, yeah. It just keeps the hump moves.
What hump? Okay, so now we get to Harry Erskine and Mrs. Hertz, and you were so happy. You want to take the lead on this part?
I fucking love this scene because Mrs. Hertz is just this bitter, grumpy old woman she's kind of like the quintessential Jewish mother, right? oh, don't mind me. I'm just in a lot of pain, you know. And she sits down and she groans. She doesn't even walk into his little room where he has his table and his cards set up. He sits her down in a cushy chair in his own living room, and he goes into the room and starts pulling the cards and talking to her.
And he asks her which card she wants to be. Like, which card is going to represent her. Like, do you want to be the Queen of Cups? No? Okay, well, I'll put this back. Do you want to be the Queen of Hearts? No? Okay, I'm going to put this back too. It's fine. That doesn't feel right. That is not how tarot works.
Well, the hearts isn't in tarot either. But anyway.
You know...
He does. They finally land on the Queen of Wands, and she's good with the Queen of Wands.
Well, that's super not how tarot fucking works then, isn't it?
But in the middle of this fucking reading, she starts chanting Panna Witchy Salitu. And she jumps up and, fuck the cane she came in with, bitch walks out the door, and he follows her. She starts, like, trembling and shaking, and he's trying to call for an ambulance, and the operator is like, well, do you need the number for the hospital? He's this is an emergency. I guess this was before 911. He's like, you call the hospital. While he's arguing with the fucking operator, she gets up out of her chair, leaves her cane behind, and walks out the door of his apartment. So he yells at the operator again to call an ambulance, and he follows her out into the hallway. Bitch is floating 4 inches above the floor, down the hallway, gets to the stairwell, yells Panna Witchy Salitu again, and is flung down the stairs, takes out half of the railing and the banister at the bottom, and lays there bleeding at the bottom of the staircase.
It's really kind of awesome.
It really is.
You don't see that kind of violence inflicted against elderly tarot clients a whole lot in movies. So to see that was kind of, it's a bit of a shock, but it's pretty cool. So after that, I guess the ambulance comes and takes Mrs. Hertz's possessed, dead fucking body off to Potter's Bluff, wherever the fuck they go. So Harry goes to visit Karen at the hospital, and he tells the doctors that Karen was talking in her sleep, and she said Panna Witchy Salitu, which is the same thing that Mrs. Hertz said before she floated down the fucking hallway and threw herself down the steps. And the doctor's like, yeah, it's got nothing to do with Karen's condition. She's stable.
Yeah,
She's fine.
What do you want me to do about this?
Right? The doctor's stumped, but essentially Karen has a fetus on her neck. That's what they've come up with. It is a fetus on her neck. And Erskine says maybe Karen's condition and why the operation to try to get the fetus off of her neck was because of mind control. Maybe someone is transmitting signals into Karen's head brain that makes...
He actually said transmitting signals.
that makes other things happen. Let's go ask Karen if she knows anybody who would be transmitting signals into her brain to make shitty, weird things happen. So they go and visit Karen in her room, and Erskine's like, is there anybody that you know who could be trying to manipulate you mentally? And she starts screaming, and she says, Panna Witchy Salitu. It's starting to feel like a fucking marketing concept.
Yes. Like she's in an MLM.
Have you tried Panna Witchy Salitu? I'm going to send you an email about it, hun. Oh, wait, this is 1978. There was no email. Sorry about that. No email, no hearts in the tarot deck. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about tonight. Harry goes to what appears to be a San Francisco pirate museum.
Yep.
It is at least nautical, and he knows
It's like pre-steampunk.
Right. It's like a place Zach Bagans would go and talk about all the dark energy attached to a fucking porthole.
Yes.
Harry talks to this woman named Amelia, or Amy, for a long time. Now, I guess Harry used to fuck Amelia, too? That's the impression I got, but Amy's married now to another dude who works in the Pirate Museum, and he doesn't want her doing any more witchy shit. Doesn't want her doing tarot reads or contacting the other side, anything like that. So she initially declines. But after hearing the story, her husband's like, okay, whatever. So Amy decides that they need to have a seance at Karen's house.
For whatever reason.
Why a fucking seance? Karen is not dead. We're not trying to contact Karen's spirit while she's, 4 blocks away in the fucking Sisters of Jerusalem Hospital in San Francisco. So I don't get it. But they do it. They do it. They go to Karen's house. Karen lives with her aunt. And it's a nice big mansion of a house.
Yeah.
And Karen's aunt is like this kind of larger woman in this nice, very pretty white dress. And she's sweet as can be. There's nothing wrong with her, but they're like, let's sit around the table. Shall we all clasp hands? And then Amy starts saying shit, which I think it started off in Latin and then kind of declined into Sanskrit and then Pig Latin.
I don't know what she was saying, dude. But she was like intoning it kind of like she was singing the words, which is kind of cool. I kind of dig that in a ritual.
Yeah, but not when they're like trying to remember the menu from a Jamaican restaurant, which is what it sounded like.
I was waiting for her to do the charm of making. Uthas Bethod Dakildianve.
Like I recognize the word luminare. She said luminare. Okay,
yeah.
So light. Okay, that I get. While the seance is going on, this head rises from the center of the table.
That was kind of a cool effect, actually. It was this octagonal. No, I don't think it had 8 sides. It had 6 sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had like this dark piece of glass in the center of it, and this head starts forming like it was made out of liquid. It just starts rising up out of the center of this dark piece of glass in the middle of that table.
Like it was vacuum formed.
Yeah! It's like Han Solo rising out of the middle of the table. It was cool.
Oh, if only they had frozen that spirit in
carbonite.
That would have been the best. My favorite part is when Amy was asking the spirits to come to the house, and like, I know you're out on your spiritual errands.
Spiritual errands?
What the fuck is that? Well, we gotta go to Ghost Kroger, and then I gotta go to get some ghost fuel in the ghost car at the ghost marathon station. Just stupid.
Don't forget a pack of ghost smokes.
Right. I need some ghost Winstons. Oh, not Winstons. That was the name of a Ghostbuster.
Ba-dum-bum.
So anyway, yes, this head rises up from the center of the table, and it groans like a cat in heat. It sounds like something we've heard off of the ridge.
It does.
So it's like a mountain cat making fuck-me noises. All of a sudden, the door to the room explodes.
Yeah, but doesn't the aunt shout Panowitchy Salatu during this scene?
You're right. The aunt screams Panowitchy Salatu, and the door explodes, and the table explodes, and the chandelier spins, and there's wind for no fucking reason, and none of it ends until Harry turns the lights back on, and then Amy comes up with the amazing concept that it might be black magic. Karen's aunt says the thing that came through the table looked like a wooden Indian. Erskine says it reminded him of a medicine man. Now, when they go back and talk to the doctor, well, no, he actually apparently already got this knowledge, but he tells everybody that the doctor says Karen's going to die if they remove the neck baby.
The neck baby.
So they do some research, and they come across the term Manitou. Hey, it's the title. Manitou means immortal spirit. So when we extrapolate everything down and kind of push it into, a large tumor-sized ball, what that means is that Karen is going to give birth to an ancient Native American from her neck.
It's such a leap.
It's a huge leap.
It looks like a wooden Indian outside of a general store from when I was a kid. Oh, it must be a medicine man. Oh, look, it's an ancient medicine man who's going to be born through her neck.
Yeah, I don't know how they arrived at that particular conclusion, but they did. So they go to meet the guy who wrote the book that they got that Manitou information from, and his name is Dr. Snow, and it's Burgess Meredith with a Van Dyke mustache.
He's great.
Well,
that anthropologist is great.
Well, the great thing about Meredith's performance in this movie is I don't think he remembered his lines half the time.
He was making shit up. Just totally off the cuff.
Making shit up until he could come up with what the script said, because he'd be looking like a shelf of books, and he'd be like, well, I think, according to Indian legend, this is all such a mess.
Yep.
I really need to clean this up. Oh, and according to ancient legend, and just fumbling his way through the entire performance. It was fucking hilarious. Dr. Snow says that there are precedents for what's happening to Karen and Hanek, but they're only legendary. And he says if that there is an ancient Native American spirit inside of the big lump on her neck, then, quote, you do have one hell of a problem.
He tells them they need to find a medicine man to fight the ancient medicine man, and it reminds me of that show. What's the name of that show? Where it's got that woman and the cop, the ex-cop, and they go in and they investigate these families, and she's always like, you need a team of shamans.
It's the
and
Dead Files.
The Dead Files. It's like, you need the most ridiculous thing. So Tony Curtis sets off on this quest to find a fucking Native American medicine man. Like, the fuck? It takes him all the way to South Dakota.
Can I just jump in? I fucking love the Dead Files. I love Amy Allen so much. She makes the greatest faces when she's doing shit, and you're right. When she meets a family, she's always like, you need to find 18 Celtic topless dancers. They need to come in carrying sparklers and a 2-liter bottle of ginger ale. They need to shoot that ginger ale up and down your steps, and then they need to light a fire in your sink with charcoal lighter fluid and about 18 pounds of sage. And if you can't do that, you gotta fucking move.
Get the fuck out.
That's the entire show.
Yep.
Oh, it's so great. I love that. Anyway, yes, Harry goes to South Dakota, and he's been looking for a medicine man, and at least 5 of them have turned him down because that's a dumb fucking request. But he meets one dude named John Singing Rock.
Not played by a Native American actor.
Nope, it's Michael and Sarah. He was from Lebanese descent. But again, looks like an Indian maybe. If you are a white American, that's...
Doesn't know the difference.
Kind of how that works. The doctor doesn't want to bring a shaman into the hospital at all. But meanwhile, there's another operation going with Karen, and they are decided to use what's called an optical laser.
It's a laser beam.
I don't know what an optical laser is. I guess that means you can see it.
I guess so. It's the machine that goes bing.
It is the machine that goes... Because all of a sudden an alarm goes off, the doctor and Harry run downstairs, and the laser's going fucking nuts. Do you remember that one scene in Logan's Run where Farrah Fawcett puts Michael York under the lasers to do plastic surgery at the New U shop?
Yes!
It's exactly like that. Lasers just turning around and spinning and aiming at people and going nuts and hitting equipment and leaving black skid marks against the wall. It's just like that. It's great. After that, after they finally shut the power down and killed the laser, they go in there and talk to Karen, who is cowering in a corner while all this shit's going on. She tells the doctor that the thing on her neck says they must not touch him because he's in pain and he will kill you all. Now, here's another amazing extrapolation from the information that we have been given. They x-rayed the hell out of the tumor. The doctor says that the x-rays kill cells. So in a fetus, if you kill one cell with an x-ray, you could be getting rid of an arm or a leg or something like that the fetus needs. But since they x-rayed that tumor from hell to breakfast, they've apparently turned it into a monster. They turned it mean with x-rays.
Yep, they mutated the neck fetus.
That's a long fucking stretch. That is a way to go, y'all. So Erskine's in North Dakota, East Dakota, at some reservation. He finds John Singing Rock, the not Indian performer, playing an Indian again, because remember, Michael Ansara back in the day played the title role in the Cochise TV series. So he'd made a career out of playing Native Americans when he was clearly from Middle Eastern descent. John Singing Rock says, yeah, he might be able to fight this thing off, but there's such an entity called the Gitchy Manitou.
Gitchy.
Oh, Gitchy.
Gonna get you, Manitou.
And he's the spirit of a great medicine man.
He compares him to Jesus Christ.
Yes, like your Jesus or your Jehovah. Thanks, dude.
Yep.
The Manitou that is inside Karen's neck is almost like fourth or fifth reincarnation.
Yep.
Now, once it hits 8 reincarnations, its spirit can join with the Gitchy Manitou and become like super Gitchy, goomy Manitou. I'm not sure how this works.
Oh no, it's like steps to Nirvana, right? He's like the Buddha. He's trying to get there.
John Singing Rock says he will do it if Erskine donates $100,000 to the Indian Education Foundation. Erskine goes, what about you? And John Singing Rock goes, I could use some tobacco. I'm running low. So that's it. So John Singing Rock comes to the big city, and he's in Karen's hospital room, and he's like, well, this is kind of fucked. So he puts a circle of sand down around Karen's bed, and he's all
sand and something else. There are 2 levels there. One is white and one is red.
I think they're both. It could be sand and salt, but I think they're both sand.
Okay.
Because they never mentioned a salt circle.
Yeah.
My issue with this entire scene is that it's not really a circle. They don't move Karen's bed away from the wall, so he can't get behind it. So it's like 3/4 of a circle, and then a baseboard.
Yep, and he doesn't even land the baseboard.
No, he just lets that
shit go. It's not a full circle.
And then he starts tapping these sticks or bones together, and he's just like, please help me.
They're like kind of like rattles. They're kind of like ritual rattles.
So are they bones or sticks?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. While John Singing Rock is doing the tapping the bone stick rattle ritual, Karen opens her eyes. John Singing Rock's like, what is your name? What is your name? The spirit that is on her neck, it is named Misquamacus.
Misquamacus.
Harry Erskine continually calls it the Mixmaster.
He calls it the Mixmaster, and it's so fucking funny because it's totally something we would do.
Misquamacus is the greatest medicine man of all time, and he wants revenge against the white man for stealing his land and killing his people, and Misquamacus wants revenge against John Singing Rock for working for the white man to get him up out of this white woman's neck. There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not equipped to do it.
Right.
Harry Erskine goes out into the hall, and the nurse is there, and she's cool. And he's like, yeah, I got some tension. I have a lot of tension. If I need something to relieve the tension. And instead of offering him a blowjob, she gives him some Alka-Seltzer. And he drops the Alka-Seltzer tablets into the water, but they don't bubble. They don't
do the fizzy thing.
Yeah, they don't do the fizzy thing. So Harry's walking back towards Karen's room, and as he approaches the door, he sees the head of the orderly who was watching Karen smash into the glass window, breaks the glass, and it's amazing. He's been skinned by Misquamacus. He's coming out. He's got powers. It's crazy. John Singing Rock calls upon all the other Manitous to keep Misquamacus in the circle. Now, here's the thing. Everything has a Manitou. People have Manitous. They're spirits. Animals have Manitous. But so do inanimate objects. Like, I don't know, look to your right. I'm looking to my right. Here's an empty beer bottle. It's got a Manitou. Here's a bug zapper light. It's got a Manitou. Everything has a Manitou. I don't know if this is actually part of Native American belief, because I didn't look it up. I probably could have. Misquamacus is actually rising up out of Karen's back. Now, John Singing Rock's calling in elemental spirits. He's like the wind Manitou and the stone Manitou and the mountain Manitou. He's calling all of them to try to keep Misquamacus inside of this 3/4 circle around Karen's bed. But Misquamacus pops up out of her back.
And this is actually a great bit of practical effects. It's really kind of gross, because you see his hand punch through her skin first, and then his head starts coming out.
And at this point, people who know will know, but Misquamacus is played by Felix Silla, who also played Tweaky the Robot in the Buck Rogers and the 25th Century TV show.
Oh.
People say you don't learn nothing from listening to this fucking show. I got trivia out the butt.
He punches his way through her back skin.
Yeah, just kind of like me eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And he's like 3 feet tall. He's like a fucking hobbit with a six-pack. Dude is ripped from hell to breakfast.
He is a tiny, tiny ancient medicine man. Yes, he is. And when he comes out of Karen's back and starts, he's trapped inside the circle because John Singing Rock has called on every Manitou he can fucking think of to keep Misquamacus inside the sacred area. If you look real close, he's got a big fucking butt.
He does, and he's got a big fucking brow, too. Like, he's just overly developed forehead.
Just mono brow and mono ass. Just,
yep.
Blah. It's just right. You can't not see it. Once you know, you know. He's got like this Kardashian ass to him. It's crazy. Misquamacus at this point is not strong enough to break the circle, and John Singing Rock's all like, well, I called in the Manitous of a bush and
mountain, river, wind,
an empty Big Mac container,
this office chair,
a vehicle. And somehow Karen's still alive.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how this is happening, because if I had an entire human being, pop its way out of my back skin, I would probably be dead.
It's like a really big zit.
It's a 4 fucking foot tall zit.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that she's still alive. Harry Erskine, he wants to call the cops. But John Singing Rock says, well, don't do that, because guess what? Guns have Manitous. And Misquamacus will take the Gunitous and turn them against the police, and they will kill themselves with their own weapons. So that's not going to work. Misquamacus, of course, is trying to build his power and get all puffed up. The orderly that he skinned, for some reason, is still in Karen's room. They ain't moved him. Mm-hmm. There's another orderly who's about as useful as the cops outside the Godfather store in the first movie. Misquamacus makes the dead orderly's body rise up and attack the living orderly who's asleep in a chair outside of the hospital room.
And he's growling like a fucking Fulci zombie. It's great.
He is stopped by John Singing Rock, but then Misquamacus, through Karen, says that he's going to destroy everybody, all the people. And he breaks that circle of sand, potentially sand and salt, whatever, but he breaks the circle with mind bullets. He uses telekinesis to just break that circle and start walking through it. And then Misquamacus summons up one of the most evil Indian demons that you can think of, and it's called the Lizard of the Trees. And really what it is a superimposed Gila monster.
Yep. Coming
right out of Misquamacus's groinal area through the circle, and the lizard bites the doctor on the hand. And it's apparently real because his hand is bleeding, and the orderly's like, we need to get bandages and, I don't know, a tourniquet? Why do you... Fucker, no. He didn't bite the hand off. He just bit it. You don't need a tourniquet. What is your fucking problem? When Harry Erskine goes back upstairs after making sure that they didn't put a tourniquet on the doctor's hand because that's ridiculous, the entire floor that Karen is on has been turned into like an ice cave.
It's awesome. There's like giant icicles hanging from the ceiling and shit.
And the nurse that was behind the station is frozen solid, and she's like got one hand up and the phone in the other hand. She's just frozen, and it's really kind of cool. Inside Karen's room, there's John Singing Rock, and he tells Harry Erskine, well, I tried to stop Misquamacus, but he hit me in the face with a bunch of surgical instruments. I am bleeding now, and now I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. The demon that created the ice capades on the hospital floor was called, is that the Star Beast? It was the spirit of the North Wind. And while they're walking through the hallway to get to the elevator to take care of John Singing Rock, Misquamacus Mixmaster attacks and blows him against the wall, and there's snow, and there's ice, and there's snowballs, and maybe a Yeti Manitou. I don't even know how that works. But It all ends when Harry Erskine throws a fucking IBM typewriter at Miss Womacus, and it explodes.
Threw a typewriter, and he exploded.
Typewriters don't explode.
Everything exploded in the 70s. We've had this discussion.
This is not a gasoline-powered typewriter. I don't think there was ever such a thing. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. So while they're in the office taking care of John Singing Rock, there's kind of an earthquake. Like everything kind of rumbles and shifts and people fall down like the Enterprise just got hit by a proton torpedo.
Yeah, it was great though, dude. You could like see the floor twisting and bending. I thought that was pretty awesome too. I'd like to have seen that set when that happened, because that wasn't just a camera effect. They didn't just move the fucking camera around while people threw themselves back and forth.
No, there were like Teamsters involved.
Yeah, you could see the floor bending, you could see the bookshelves twisting. It was pretty fucking cool.
After the earthquake, John Singing Rock decides Miss Womacus has called the oldest demon of all, and they actually call it the Great Old One.
And he says, Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call it.
And I thought Cthulhu was going to show up.
Right.
You don't call somebody a Great Old One and they don't have tentacles. That comes with it.
There are older and fouler things in the deep places of the earth.
Gods. So the Great Old One's on its way, and Erskine says, hey, there's a lot of big fucking 70s computer equipment in this hospital, isn't there? And dude, it's all the blinky lights.
All of the blinky lights.
Computer banks to take up an entire wall, and the lights blink, and there are gauges.
I'm surprised they didn't call it Mother.
They totally should have. But apparently, there's that shit all over the hospital. Erskine's idea is, we will turn on all these big fucking computers at the same time, which are apparently on 220 or 240, whatever it takes. They are on a larger power supply. We'll turn them all on at the same time, and then, John Singing Rock, you can direct the machine Manitous to mess up Miss Womacus. So many M's in what I just said. But it's an idea that's so crazy, it just might work. So now we're here for the final boss battle. Jesus Christ, it took a while to get here, but here we are. All the computers come on, because that doctor who got his hand bit by the lizard of the tree of the star beast, the thing, he turns the computers on in his office, and every other computer comes on, and it's just an overload. Everything's in overdrive. Electricity fills up the room, and the doctor explodes.
Told you everything exploded in the 70s.
You know, you blew up real good. It was really pretty fucking cool. Just flying. But John Singing Rock was like, well, the machine Manitous won't come. How come? Well, because you're white.
It's white man medicine, he says.
It's white man's medicine.
I can't do this.
Meanwhile, inside Karen's room, I don't know how to say this except to say it. Karen's room is in space.
It's an illusion, he says.
Her bed is floating in space. You can see the door from inside her room and see the hallway, but everything else...
It's like Monty Python's Meaning of Life, where they walk through the door and they're walking out into outer space.
Yes! It's exactly it. They're in space, and the machine Manitous won't work through John Singing Rock. However, they'll work through Karen, who is somehow still fucking alive. So there's Miss Womacus and the Great Old One behind him, and there's Karen half naked.
Yep.
So if you really need to see tits, the last 10 minutes of the Manitou got you covered, motherfucker. You are good.
You got tits and a redhead shooting lightning bolts out of the palms of her hand like she's a fucking Jedi master.
It's amazing because she hits Miss Womacus with her force lightning and he finally explodes, and then she turns her attention to the Great Old One, and the Great Old One is like throwing Roman candles and asteroids and grasshoppers and just everything he can think of at her, and she's just like, no, look at my titties. And then it just hits him over and over again with the force lightning, which really, it should have come out of her nipples. That would have been amazing.
That would have been.
Just like, oh, damn, I killed the Great Old One with my tits.
And I think this scene is great for a couple of reasons. For one, Satan looks like Sauron.
He does.
He's just this great, glowing, psychedelic, red-looking eye form out in space. And for two, the repetition. She makes the same face and the same hand motions every time she shoots her Sith powers at him and lightning bolts fly at him. And she does it like 6 or 7 times. It's just, they go back and forth, and it was like like an old video game where you're trying to shoot the spaceships or something. I don't know, and she finally defeats him with one last blast.
There's so much Kubrickery, because it looks like the last 10 minutes of 2001: A Space Odyssey, where he's going through that weird kind of colorful portal between where he was and Jupiter. So it's like stuff flying over your head and stuff kind of flying under your chin. But it's a really cheap version of it. So it looks kind of like we threw a waffle iron at the screen and we painted it white, and then we did it again, and then we did it one more time at another angle. So that's what it's...
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they just played that same shot of her doing the lightning bolts over and over again. Like, they just took that same clip and just kept replaying it.
Hey, special effects are expensive, man.
Yeah, well, I have no doubt.
It wouldn't surprise me if she was in that kind of weird-ass, I'm posing for an album cover stance and shooting things out of my palms. It was crazy. Karen uses the machine Manitous to destroy Misquamacus and the Great Old One. Everything's fine. She's fine. She's alive. She's wrapped in a towel or a blanket or some shit. I don't know how that happened.
I want to know what her back skin looks like after that mess. Like, it's just hanging off in shreds. But they don't address it.
Nope, not at all. I'm sure that'll heal up just fine. Sure. She won't look like a burn victim.
Give her some Bactine. It'll be fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
Put a bandage on it. It'll be all right. It's fine. John Singing Rock goes home. Misquamacus is dead. However, his Manitou is not.
Manitou lives on.
Misquamacus could show up at any point in time.
The end? Question mark.
The end. However, Harry Erskine does give him 2 pouches of tobacco.
And we all wonder, how does the tarot reader living in San Francisco come up with $100,000 to donate to the Indian Education Fund?
Old women.
Yep.
Just continue to bilk old women.
The next 40 years, he's going to be paying off that debt.
Right. Oh, what a fucking weird-ass movie.
It was great. I had so much fun with that. I don't even know what the fuck just happened to my brain. I mean, Felix Sela, a hospital room that becomes some Atari version of hyperspace, a half-naked woman shooting purple force lightning out of her palms. This movie is at least 300 kinds of crazy awesome. Maybe, I don't know, 302.
It's my birthday, and I'll girdler it up if I want to.
Well, I think it's time to get a second opinion on the Manitou.
What do you mean? Everybody loves this movie.
Well, I mean, that might be true. I thought it was cool, especially when it went right off the fucking rails at the end.
In my head, where I live in my own little dreamland, the Manitou is one of the greatest movies about neck tumors ever made.
Well, we should still find out what someone else thinks. It's time to dial those 3 beautiful numbers and place a call into the ether just to see who picks up the landline of the damned.
You know, whoever it is, I hope they've seen the Manitou, and I hope they love it just as much as I do.
It's time to dial 666, the number of the geeks.
Hello.
Ooh, that's very sexy and all FM radio and shit.
Are your parts tingling downstairs? You know, it's cold down here, by the way. You know.
My God. On the line with us right now is the co-host of Cinema Beef Podcast, and he's on 2 Drink Minimum Commentaries. He's got a new Legion Patreon show called Blood from the Core. Mr. Gary Hill is with us right now. Hello, sir.
Hey,
yeah.
I got my parka on, man. It's cold in hell today, man. That's all I'll say about that one.
Has hell frozen over, Gary?
Hell has indeed frozen over. You know, well, from what I watched anyway, it can freeze over.
It's just that one floor, though.
Well, it's isolated. That's just some good climate control right there.
It's just when the Star Beast showed up and froze everything out. Fuck
Star Beast.
me. So what'd you think of it?
He got the freezing game like Hoax in 976 Evil, where he freezes the whole house and the land around it.
Now, this predates 976 Evil.
But it's a film I enjoy as well.
Well, yeah, okay.
I dig the Manitou. It's weird. But let's talk about it, man.
Weird? Is that like the highest praise that you'll give it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to films about growths that get bigger and bigger and create a nice new hoodie for our star of the film here, it is an amazing film. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's something that grows bigger and bigger and does not involve John Holmes, so pretty happy about pretty happy about that. Did you consider this to actually be a possession movie, or was this more of a reincarnation movie for you?
Well, it's kind of both, because she is not in control of herself. In most of this film, she's controlled by this thing that's growing out of her back. And when I say thing, we're talking about a 400-year-old Native American shaman who is very angry that he's inside this white woman, apparently. And I would be too, because he comes out very dark, and to be born to her, I'd imagine he'd be a lot more light-skinned.
I was gonna say, I've never been upset to be inside a white woman.
All the way though, like a skin sack.
Not like
Skin sack. Jeez.
Oh, how were you born? Were you born in a skin sack there, X, or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we all were. We all came out and escaped eventually by feet or by head.
They tried to do the C-section and it did not work. Is it still a C-section if it's on somebody's neck?
Yes.
I mean, what would you call that?
End section. I don't know.
A T-section, because it's around your shoulder blades.
Oh my God.
See, if she spread her arms apart when they were cutting, when the thing was coming out of her, she could be our Manitou's own personal white Jesus.
Jesus has nothing to do with the Manitou. John Singing Rock says that 900 times. He even uses the phrase, your Christian God, which I happen to think is one of the greatest overused phrases in movies. This has nothing to do with your Christian God, you earth people.
And then Pinhead pops up and says, "Do I look like somebody who cares what God thinks?" He just pops up out of nowhere.
Oh man, if it had been Pinhead in her neck, that would have been a whole different movie. Is this Tony Curtis's greatest role?
Oh well, that goes the Bad News Bears go to Japan to me, but not really. It is one of them, because he's so outrageous, and he's basically playing a huckster who's not a huckster. He seems like he knows the tarot game pretty well, but he's like getting in there like Max Bialystock. I've got the names right in the producers. Zero Mostel's character. Just like scamming old ladies, but not fucking them. I imagine he slammed a couple old ladies in his day, but hold me, sweetie, honey. Getting it in with his magical robe on, and
I made that exact same comparison.
Oh, that's nice. See, that's what we think of, Lexi. But yeah, it's one of the better ones, because he goes all in on it, especially towards our finale, and he has to save the sacrificial white woman who's just kind of sleeping a lot in this movie, and letting our small, large-butted friend tell her what to do, including have the surgeon carve himself in the arm, which is hilarious.
He did have just a ginormous butt.
He had that little person butt, and you know what? It's very rare to film, and I know it was played by like two people, and for some reason I remember this thing looking like that thing in Elves. That was the one elf in the movie.
Yeah,
But it looked more like a mini Glenn Danzig, and I kind of like, yeah, there he is. There's Mini Danzig just hanging out with his butt out, and I doubt many little people actors, and one of them was Felix Silla? How do you pronounce his last name?
I've always said Silla, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, but he's in this movie as one of the Manitou doubles, and to have a little person butt hanging out and it's not pornography is pretty ballsy in my opinion.
That's just the Learning Channel now, isn't it? Or Discovery, whatever those people are on.
Whatever those people are on. They're on Discovery Plus for all you to enjoy.
Exactly.
You know?
I was gonna say, it's all the same network. I don't even know anymore why they're in different channels. What do you think Panowichi Salatu actually means?
That's a good question, and I had a good answer in my brain, and it all went away now because I'm just thinking about white guilt and natives now.
I think it's like a conjuring, kind of like a hey, you get your shit together. We're reincarnating here.
Lucky Natives Casino off of Highway 44, exit 4A, perhaps.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm being so offensive. I'm just so mesmerized by Burgess Meredith's beard in this movie. It's spectacular. I mean, I made a comment on Facebook. I was watching this movie, and because they have good internet, they have good Wi-Fi in hell apparently, and he looks like if Colonel Sanders invited you in for a nightcap, and. And I gotta mention this because I said that like a guy that I invite you in for sex and offer you chicken and biscuits, and Patrick Walsh of the Scream Queens, where Horror Gets Gay podcast, because I gotta say the whole thing or he'll be upset by this, says he wants Burgee sex biscuits. So Burgee sex trademarked Patrick Walsh. So if they come out with that, you gotta give him some money because all y'all deep down inside want Burgee sex biscuits. Just throwing it out there.
Burgee sex biscuits.
I don't know if I want that after Burnt Offerings when he had that. Was that a toupee? That weird brown hair, and Dan Curtis kept filming him from like underneath so you could just see how large Burgess Meredith's nose was. It's weird.
You make honey in hell because you need honey with those Burgee sex biscuits.
Jesus.
I think you've got to. Yeah.
It doesn't spoil. We know that.
Gotcha.
How many times do you think? I can think of 3. Why did they keep casting Michael Ansara as an Indian when he was not?
Because he's a white, and this is something that Hollywood did. We once covered a movie on the show when I was still up on the surface called Navajo Joe, which included young Burt Reynolds playing the titular Navajo Joe. And we all accept our boy Billy Jack as one of their own. So why not have another white as one of their own?
Well, Billy Jack was a half-breed.
Yeah.
He was a half-breed. That's how he referred to himself in that movie.
God, a half-breed? Seriously?
Yeah, but he was a hero to the natives. Another white hero to the natives.
Baby, that's what happened back then. Have you never heard that Cher song, Half-Breed?
No.
Yeah.
That's all she ever heard.
That's all she ever heard. It's true. That's a real thing. And much like the Manitou, you can't do that now.
Right.
You could not make this movie now.
Oh, it is a product of the 1970s. I'm gonna give it that. That's not even an insult. I love stuff like this.
How did you feel about the that trippy ass psychedelic ending?
Oh, with the laser blast.
Yeah, dude, like a video game or some shit.
This is how the end of Poltergeist 2 should have been, but it wasn't. When they're going to the other side and they see the grandmother floating like an angel, yada, yada, yada. And our actual Native American, throws the spear in there for the white man to save the day again.
That's remarkably accurate.
Because it's true.
It is true. That's hilarious.
In that movie, he breathes that spiritual juju within Craig T. Nelson and imbues him with all the native power. I think that's kind of horseshit. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Just let the white man take the shit again, just like letting this supposed psychic, when I say supposed, that's the thing. He has real skills in the movie. He's a real huckster, but nobody believes this. But it is the 70s, so they believed anything in the 70s. You guys had S back in the day, didn't you? Or was that?
Oh
the
yeah,
80s?
yeah. Nope, that was the 70s. Thanks so much for bringing that back up.
I'm sorry. But the fact that they're doing it again, and the fact that our Native American who just wants $100,000 for his native school as payment, but he's going through all kinds of crazy shit is at the helm here. The white guy saving the day works for me so well, but like you said, it wouldn't work now. But the laser light show in the end, we're about to cover The Wiz on Cinema Beef, and when Lena Horne shows up in that movie, it makes Gary cry every time. I cry a little bit too when I see the Manitou just sitting in the stars, just waiting, laughing a little bit, He's just laughing, shooting laser blasts and stuff.
But wasn't even really
He's having a good time.
It wasn't even really the white man that won that battle. It was the white woman sitting up in bed with her boobs hanging out, shooting fucking laser blasts out of her hands.
No nips, though. No nips. You know,
It was blurry.
Blurry
they
nips.
made sure they covered those nips.
It was like Race with the Devil blurry.
Yeah.
Because it was cold. It was cold in that room. Because like
Oh,
the
you gotta know
so
it.
he makes the whole floor. So those nips have been rock hard. They can't show that on screen. The Manitou is made for children, kind of like Hell, in the Pat Benatar song.
Oh
you know?
Hey, her tits have Manitou also. Like,
That's right. Damn it,
Why
that's
don't we
what
see titty Manitou? That's what I want to know.
that's what we've learned
Well,
from this movie.
I'm
Is
sorry.
everything has a Manitou, and I guess her boobs have a wool Manitou.
Damn, skip.
Manitou nips that they had to cover up. You know, did
Well,
they provide her cosmic powers?
They'd be Manitou nips with big butts, which is just a weird fucking concept.
Yeah, I think she just had all that Manitou afterbirth stuck in that sack of hers on the back now, and that's what provided her cosmic powers.
Gross.
Yeah,
Well-
how is she still alive?
She should be bleeding terribly, but I think
She should just be like a fucking Catherine Deneuve husk under the stairs.
much like in Star Wars, when the lightsaber cuts off your hand, it's so hot that it's solderized. I think the coldness of the room solderized her Manitou sack, and then that's how she lived.
I
This
think
is
she's
the
got
thing I'm
like
going for here.
she's got like a cape now, like a natural, just a skin cape flapping off of the back of her neck.
She could just fly through San Francisco,
Yeah, like Supergirl.
just show up at the San Francisco Pirate Museum, Sea Pirate Museum, for just in a heartbeat. Boom, she's there.
See, this reminds me of an anecdote that John Leguizamo said in one of his shows once, where his dad, he couldn't get laid, so his dad took him to the old whore that works at the KFC, and her pussy was so big that it resembled bat wings, so she flew away like Mothra at the end, as a joke,
Oh my god.
So, I'd imagine she jumps off a building and she can glide like nobody's business with that giant sack, the Manitou sack.
Yeah, dude.
Like a sugar glider. That's what her
Sugar
superhero
glider.
name would be Sugar Glider.
See, if you guys didn't know, this is what happens when X and I get together. We start making up harebrained theories about shit. So, and the Manitou is no exception. Yeah.
It all works. It all circles.
Now we got Cootie in the mix, and I love it even more.
It's a hard movie to hate. You've really got to kind of go into it with the mindset you're going. I thought Cootie would hate it. I thought she was going to just shit all over this movie, but she liked it.
I thought I was gonna hate it too. You kind of set me up for that.
I thought I knew you.
It would have been. This movie could have failed into saying, "Hey, let's spend the first 40 minutes, letting this thing. Oh wow, like 20 minutes in." What's this thing on my back? Is it a goiter or is it a mole? And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then like 45 minutes later, you say, hey, now this is a problem. But it kind of jumps right in. Is to say, hey, this woman's got this thing on her back. It's not going away. And then all of a sudden, she's being controlled by a 400 years old Indian Native American medicine man.
Yeah, you know what freaked me out about that though? The freakiest part about that was not the fact that she had this ginormous lump on her neck, and it wasn't that the doctor was like, it's growing at this alarming rate. No, it was when she says, it's shifting as if someone turning in their sleep. I was like, ugh. Like, spiders have laid eggs in the back of your neck, honey.
It's a neck wig.
Yeah. It's a neck wig.
Fucking gross.
You think our female hero here with the Manitou nips have had many children before? She knows the description of a baby moving inside of her. I gotta imagine. I'm not a woman, but I imagine only a woman who's been with child would know how that would feel.
Well, that's true. I mean, it could have been liquid or something, but if she was like, I don't know, it just feels like knees. Just feels like knees. And this gigantic flesh sack on the back of my neck, that would be a problem.
See, they need to have that scene in the movie like they have in The Dark Half, where they're going into Thad Beaumont's head. I'll see an eyeball pop out.
Oh, my God.
That would be phenomenal. By the way, Thad, you got a twin. And it's going to grow into a full-grown man one day, but you're not going to know it.
Oh my God.
You were talking about how it jumps right in, and it pretty much does. You pretty much start off with the doctors who are like, could this possibly be some kind of strange torso child or whatever the fuck it is they say. But then,
fetus.
but then Tony Curtis and Susan Strasberg spend it feels like an hour and a half just rekindling their relationship, and it's all based around that thing on her neck. It's just like, I'm so glad to see you, Harry. By the way.
Yeah. I have
Wait.
a growth.
I have a
growth.
Yeah, I have a neck baby. I think it's yours.
I'm gonna go get it checked out eventually, because
Maybe stop jizzing on the back of women's necks.
Man.
Right?
See, children, this is what happens when you don't wash your neck properly. You get a Manitou growing back there, and, I don't think she properly washed her neck, because your mother always told you to wash your neck and wash behind your ears, and these are important things, and or you might grow a Native American baby in the back of your neck as a growth, and they had the permanent skin sac going on that you could possibly fly off a building with.
She should have called Damone. Damone would have taken care of that shit.
Oh, man. He didn't pay for that abortion, though.
That's true. He did not.
He was trying to sell them cheap trick tickets to get the money for the abortion. He was trying,
I have no idea what y'all are referencing right
That's
now.
fine.
Oh, this is the Fast Times at Ridgemont High reference, and
okay.
he sings the song, everything. What does he say? What, you don't know the majesty of Rick Nielsen? I probably got that line wrong, but
Yeah, he goes through an entire cheap trick kind of spiel. It's really kind of beautiful.
he's really trying to sell them tickets, But you'll never find out if he got, those Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets for Darnell Jefferson and Little Brother. You'll never
Jesus.
find them.
All right, so we've already learned from this particular discussion that not washing off neck jizz is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that.
Maybe outside of America, our sex education here is shit. Okay, final question.
Go for it.
If you were with somebody who developed a neck baby, how would you handle that as this person's partner?
Well, me, I love children that aren't mine, So it's a real, Brad Paisley, he didn't have to be situation to where I would take care of the neck baby like it was my own. And, we would go on trips, after the mother died from bleeding out. And I could say, hey, his mother died, and take him to the park because he's like this tiny thing with a big butt. And say, hey, this is my neck baby. His mother died during childbirth. Want to do it?
No, so wait.
Because if that ain't a sad excuse to say, hey, I deserve some sex because I took on this neck baby, I don't know what is, man. That works better than a tiny dog that I happen to own.
Would you keep the neck baby in a pouch when you're on the train?
Well, I don't think it has to be one of those Bjorn things you attach to your chest,
So
Which I think walking downtown with a Native American neck baby attached to my back, I think it'd be way more entertaining because it keep people away from you for one thing. I hate fucking people in general, so. And the tourists would just be staring at my neck baby, but they would stay away. I can go into Garrett's Popcorn by myself and get me the tasty Chicago mix, and the neck baby would be a great people killer just to keep them away from me. Except for the people that understand about the neck babies. And you guys are cool. Like
I kind of think you might
guys
be able
would
to
get the neck baby.
I think you could accomplish the same thing with a Chihuahua.
No, but the neck baby, you have more of a story. You have more of a story behind the neck baby. You could try to pull the John Wick thing, saying, my girl died. This is all I was left with was this tiny dog. You got more of a story with a neck baby, a Native American neck baby, than anything.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm slightly dark because my grandmother was Sicilian, but this thing is dark as hell. I can say, you know what? I found this neck baby on the street, and I took it as my own. There's so many ways you can go with this that would inevitably lead to sex with a divorcee possibly.
I don't think I adopted this neck baby as sexy, Gary. I don't know what kind of woman you're up after.
I'm not saying it's not saying that he's sexy, okay? Although he's a tiny Danzig and everything, hold me closer, tiny Danzig. All I'm saying is the pity of me caring for this neck baby who looks malnourished as it is, except for his sweet, rockin' surfer's body, because this thing's got some abs on it for some reason.
Yeah, he's got a six-pack from hell.
Gary will take pity sex all day long. I don't care. I'm shallow. Neck baby for life, man. I need my own neck baby.
Neck baby for life.
That's it. We got to find Gary a neck baby.
God damn. That's the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a long time.
He can get some pity tune with his neck baby.
Man, just creating it, man,
So it'll keep some people away, except the people that you will use in order to try to seduce them by the presence of the neck baby.
And the neck baby has psychic powers too, so you know what? That's another advantage. Because me and the neck baby are going to be on the same page when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It's like the passionate man, too.
I don't know how many women listeners you have, but I promise I'm not a pig. I'm just making jokes for a comedy podcast. here.
I don't know how many women listeners I have either. One. I think.
No, we've got at least 3. There's Jamie Sammons and Lisa Carrillo and Misty Marchand.
And you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so 4.
Okay,
I guess
4.
I qualify as a woman.
3 out of 4 of those people I know get my comedy, okay? So there's that. I got that going for me,
If you're a woman and you listen to Kiss the Goat, say hi. Raise up.
Say hi.
Iris may pop in every once in a while. That may be okay.
See, Iris would support my neck baby as well, see?
Iris would support your neck baby. That's the truth. Iris would help you care for that neck baby.
Mm-hmm.
Iris would make a great neck baby mama.
Neck baby grandma.
That's another problem when he matures, Same problem all over again. Native jizz on the back of her neck, More neck baby problems. I gotta stop.
So you got 99 problems, but a neck baby ain't one. Good to know. Hey, before we hang up, tell the people out there where they can find you and what all you're doing, because you do a lot of shit, man.
You can find me in the local park picking up chicks, apparently, with my neck baby. But besides that, Son of Beef podcast, where X will show up every now and again. I give them the option to say, hey, this is what we're doing. If you want to come on, come on. It's all good, no pressure. That's done with Suzanne and Iris. 2 Drink Minimum commentaries with Cameron Scott. Blood from the Core, which was mentioned, is a new show with me and Mr. Derek Bourgeois, the Boo Boo. That's all about New York-based horror and thriller films. That's going to be Legion Patreon exclusive. So if you're not a Legion Patreon, it's as low as $2 a month. And you guys can get on that. And finally, all this stuff is coming out now, which makes me happy. I'm back to editing for him again. Last Call of Torchies is all about Walter Hill films. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a writer, producer, director, auteur. He's quite the Renaissance man, and he had a hell of a run of films. So, and during our first season of Cinema Beef, first year, we did like 8 shows devoted to him, and they all got lost in the fire. So we're gonna go deep into them with Cameron Scott and Lee Russell from They Must Be Destroyed on Sight podcast, and that's everything, I think.
Holy cow.
Unless I go do something else, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my goal is to have something out once a week for you guys, so that's why I'm doing so many hats.
Well, I hope that all of your podcasts have fine Manitous that find their way out into the universe and power themselves into existence from someone's neck.
Man, I hope so too, man. Was that what is that? Champagne wishes and Manitou dreams.
There you go.
Control you through your dreams. That's one thing this movie was missing, was some kick-ass Manitou dream sequences.
I gotta confess, I was afraid you were not gonna like this movie at all, Cootie Bug, and I'm really glad to be wrong.
Oh no, I thought the Manitou was a lot of fun. I mean, fuck, the devil showed up. He might have looked like the Eye of Sauron, but he did show up.
I thought it looked like the Phantom of the Paradise, personally. But, you have a bit of a sweet streak to you. Soft spots in places that I have not put my fingers in.
Don't you tell anybody. I've got a standard to live up to. But honestly, it doesn't matter how much I like the movie. If there was ever a time when I needed to get absolutely blotto, it is now.
Well, then let's help all of our acolytes get cross-eyed and slack-jawed with Liechtenstein's favorite drinking game, Drinking with the Devil, where your love of bad movies meets your disdain for your own liver.
Drink every time you wish you knew more about Native American spirituality so you could call bullshit.
Drink anytime Michael and Sarah mentions a new kind of Manitou.
Jesus. Drink each time Tony Curtis asks, so what do we do?
That leads in, because Drink anytime Tony Curtis yells at somebody.
He does that a lot. Drink every time there's a cutaway to beautiful San Francisco scenery that does absolutely nothing for the storyline.
Drink anytime you hear the word neck.
Jesus Christ. If that doesn't do it, kids, this episode's Grandmaster Challenge. Drink whenever someone says Panawichi Salatu.
Dude, there's no reason for anyone to be sober at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah, unless they don't drink. And some people don't, I guess.
And that's a choice. But maybe those people can hit themselves repeatedly in the forehead with a sneaker until they feel somewhat altered.
What the hell is wrong with you? Let people be who they are. Come on.
Well, whatever the state of the people who sent in questions this week was, sober or not, we're going to answer that shit because that's the kind of people that we were and are.
It's time for the Singularity's favorite game of questioning and answering, Ask the Goat, where we answer your questions and you question our answers.
As Cootie rummages through the malevolent mailbag.
Rummage, rummage, rummage.
Please note that you can send us a question any old time you get the hankering by using 3 specific areas of communication. Then shalt thou count to 3. No more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou not count.
Okay, we get it. Jesus. How many Monty Python references have we made in this episode?
All of them.
Well, just tell the people how they can reach us, okay?
The bestest and most easier way would be by sending a question to us on our Facebook group. Do you have the courage to answer the 3 questions required to join our merry band of crazies? If so, then hit us up at the Kiss the Goat Facebook group, and once you're accepted into our Satanic death cult, just post a question there. You know how that works. It's social media.
You can also send us an email at thegoatofmadness@gmail.com. Write us a long, lonely letter. Send us an MP3 file. Sketch an infantile picture of the last thing you ate. I mean, whatever's right is right.
Finally, you can hit us up on Twitter. Look, we currently have fewer than 20 followers on Twitter, and really, what the fuck is up with that? How in the blistery shit are we going to win a Silver Bolo Award with less than 20 people following our Twitter feed? Send us a question over at the Goat of MADNE and the numeral 1, which is indeed the dumbest fucking Twitter handle of all time, over at the Twitter thing that goes tweet or something. I don't fucking know.
Never going to give that up, are you?
Never going to give it up. Never going to let it down.
Did you just rickroll me?
No. Yes. Maybe.
It's a good thing it's your birthday. Otherwise, I'd fucking punch you in the throat.
And I would deserve it.
All right, let's kick this off with a double shot from one of our favorite human beings, Alan McPherson. We got to have you back on the show sometime, Al. So Al's first question is, how does Satan feel about the inevitable QAnon nostalgia media that will be ever present in 20 years?
I think Satan would probably be sad about that because, okay, I don't want it to work. I don't want QAnon to be a thing in 20 years. By the time 20 years rolls by, everybody who's involved should be dead or
here's hoping.
Or on their way out. Satan would have to come up with something besides QAnon in order to try to turn this great nation into a land of zombie fascists. So I think he'd be just like, oh, stop showing all my shit that failed. I need it to fail. I need it to fail.
So it would be like Satan looking back on his Facebook posts from 20 years ago and be like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
Like a drunk deadbeat dad who sees pictures of his grown children like at Christmas and he's just like, oh, I could have been part of that, but I just loved meth too much.
Oh my God.
Al's second question is, Will Alex Jones be reframed as a lovable rouge a la the Warrens? Is this a good idea?
Wait. Rouge or rogue? Because there's a difference.
I like the idea of Alex Jones in rouge. Just kind of sexy in that cruising sort of way.
Do you think Alex Jones knows the hanky code?
Dude, hips, lips, or Sandy Hook false flags, baby. That's all there is to it. Oh, man. Will Alex Jones be reframed into some kind of good guy? Some kind of dude who knew what he was talking about? I don't think so. I think that he's going to go down in history as a supreme nut-covered cheese ball.
Yes.
And be relegated to the same sort of place in history as Criswell and the Amazing Kreskin. That's what I think. They're just going to think he was a loon ball with weird theories who made awful predictions and who probably will just fade into obscurity. He's one of those guys where you just kind of think at some point someone's going to do a safety check on him, and they will realize, oh shit, he's been dead for 3 months and nobody gave a fuck.
Oh, his cats ate him.
His cat? Jesus. His cats ate him. The last thing he did was masturbate into an American flag. Just...
Ew. Man, you guys are on fire tonight. Well, Jamie fucking Salmons, whom we love so hard, asks the next question. Jamie wants to know, when it comes to goat butts, tongue or no tongue?
If you're not using tongue, why the fuck are you doing it?
That's what I'm saying. Tongue or there's no point, y'all.
Get up in that thing.
Get up in it. If you're going to go all the way.
Explore.
I mean, you're there. Why not commit?
Why not just go all the way with it? Yeah, tongue that goat butt.
Yep.
Derek Bourgeois, boo-boo, poses the following question. There's Jaws of Satan, where the devil is in a snake. I love Jaws of Satan. Do we own Jaws of Satan?
No, we do not.
Damn it. I love Jaws of Satan. What
Next
other...
birthday.
Right, okay, fair. What other animal would you think would be fun for the devil to wreak havoc as?
Oh, man. I think it would be fun to have something just completely unexpected and off the wall, like a fucking kangaroo. Can you imagine Satan as a kangaroo? You have to be let loose in some like big city where people are like, "Is that a fucking kangaroo?" And like, there's like alleys, dark alleys where it can hide. So people would be like, "No, that's not a fucking kangaroo. What are you talking? This is London. There are no fucking kangaroos in London, right?"
Was Kangaroo Jack a devil movie?
I don't know, maybe. But it would be like fast too, man. And kangaroos are fucking vicious.
Oh, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
They'll kill you in a
Fuck you
fucking
up,
heartbeat.
hurtful.
They will punch you. I've seen enough Matt Hardy promos. A kangaroo will beat you in the fucking face. My God. That's a great idea to have Satan be kind of an exotic creature. I want Satan to be a chihuahua.
Chihuahuas are Satan.
I'm
That's
pretty
no
sure that they
stretch.
are. I'm pretty sure Chihuahuas are Satan's army of minions already on Earth. But just like this mean-ass motherfucking Chihuahua where it's owned by an old woman and she's named it something, you know, like, I don't know, Marty or Fluffy or some shit. Just something completely benign, but it's the devil, and at night it just jumps up onto her bed and nips her hamstrings out.
It's Francis the Chihuahua.
Jesus, Francis.
Francis.
Oh, fuck that. Okay, true. No. True story. My aunt Marguerite, back when I was a kid.
wondering.
No, we gotta say it. I gotta tell
Okay.
people. My aunt Marguerite had a Chihuahua named, of all fucking things, Angel, and that dog hated me for everything it was worth. Bit my feet, bit my ankles, barked at me. I'm surprised it didn't climb up in bed with me at night and just bite my throat out like some kind of shitty version of Cat's Eye. But my aunt loved that dog so much that when she took it outside to piss, she wiped its ass. She wiped its ass with fucking toilet paper. I'm not kidding you. It's a dog. Don't do that.
Oh my God, Marguerite. We need to have a cat named Marguerite.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, because she's going to use the fucking cat Manitou and come back. I don't need that woman in my house. She didn't like me.
All right. Well, Chris Mounts has an excellent question. And Chris wants to know, how come Hollywood thinks Satanism is all black metal and cocaine instead of barbecuing in your backyard to King Harvest dancing in the moonlight while drinking Pepsi vodka?
Dude, I love Dancing in the Moonlight. That is one of my favorite fucking yacht rock songs ever. I fucking love that.
And I love that idea, too. Like, I feel like if we were Satanists, we wouldn't be any different. We would still be grilling in the front yard, staring at the mountains, being like, oh, look at that beautiful thing.
But then they'd be like, oh, it's a new moon tonight. We should find a badger.
I think the answer to that, Chris, is that that's not sexy.
It's
Whereas
not.
black metal and cocaine is. You know, you can't be afraid of a couple of middle-aged people sitting in rocking chairs listening to Fleetwood Mac and grilling chicken. Like, there's nothing sexy or scary or intimidating about that at all. It's missing drama.
How do you like your burgers, honey? Oh, I'm going to play secondhand news on my iPod that I found.
Exactly.
Hail Satan, do you want fries? Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Tater tots, honey. I want tater tots.
Okay, honey, hail Satan. I'm sorry, now I'm just having the thoughts of a fucking barbecue at the Temple of Set.
That's so great.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, that's why. It would be fucking boring. You can't really be like, we need to call down all the forces of heaven and the clergy against these people who are gardening.
Right. Those cucumbers are out of control.
Oh my God, there must be the devil in those cucumbers.
Somebody get me some holy water.
Next up, we have a relationship question from one of the great kings of hell. A question which, of course, Cootie and I are well qualified to answer.
Oh boy.
I'm a 12,000-year-old lord of the infernal regions, hailing from one of the higher, if not the highest, circle of hell, the letter says. And I find myself in a predicament that I just didn't see coming. I've been in a relationship with Kathy for about 9 months now. Relationship by which I mean I selected her to be the unholy mother of my spawn who will usher in the new eon of terror and damnation.
Ooh, lucky girl.
Things had been going well between us. At least I thought they had until last Sunday night 2 weeks ago. It's our regular blasphemous baby night, right? And we were intimate. The mood was right. Pentagram, black candles, goat blood, cultists chanting, tannis root potpourri.
Oh.
When suddenly, as she climaxed, she cried out, Asmodeus. Now, funny enough, I didn't think much of it until the next day. I mean, I know what you and your listeners must be thinking. Hell isn't known for romantic feelings or harboring creatures that value monogamy and whatnot. If Asmodeus is having her too, so what? But the images and mind movies of the two of them together soon just started popping into my head, and they just wouldn't leave. Asmodeus sexing her up on my altar in front of my cult? Anyway, since then I've been checking out Asmodeus's Instagram feed and Facebook page just to maybe see what Kathy sees in him. And as you can imagine, that didn't exactly help. He keeps posting pictures of himself shirtless, snowboarding, surfing, rock climbing, making sure everyone sees the six-pack on his smooth, bright red skin. I mean, what a douchebag. Can Kathy really be that shallow? I also, and I mean, I'm not proud of this, I never thought of myself as some kind of Glenn Close bunny boiler. I went through her text messages. Now, while I didn't find any text between them, I did find messages from the cult. They definitely had rituals without calling on me. My days and nights have been filled with uncontrollable fits of crying, eating ice cream, sleeping most of the time, and obsessively checking both of their social media. I feel lost, and I don't know what to do. Thanks, Satan, for Beyonce's Lemonade. It's been such a source of strength for me. What should I do? How do I move on? Killing her means I'd have to see her every day here in hell, and I'm just not sure I could handle that right now. On the other hand, I can't be without her. What should I do? And the question is signed, Belial.
Aww.
That's fucking heartbreaking. Jesus.
It is. Belial, I think that, first of all, you have got to have a conversation with Kathy. You can't assume, because we all know what happens when we assume things. Sometimes our instincts are right on the fucking money, but sometimes our insecurities get the best of us and we start thinking things and creating things in our head that don't exist. So you owe it to yourself and to Kathy to ask if things are cool, right?
You also need to ask yourself, what is it in Asmodeus that you don't like? What do you see in Asmodeus that is making you feel this way? Does he present something that you want to be? Do you want to be the one who's out there surfing and snowboarding? Is there something that he's doing that you need to incorporate into your life? So ponder your cosmic relationship with Asmodeus before you really start coming hard on Kathy to murder her. Which, that's certainly an option. But I think ponder it first. Find out what it is about Asmodeus that gets you riled up, and then kind of work on yourself. Go from there.
And it could be that Kathy loves you and is devoted to you, but maybe she's a little bit bored. Maybe y'all need to spice things up a bit. All of these things can be solved by communication.
Have you tried listening to King Harvest's Dancing in the Moonlight? It could help.
It couldn't hurt. Well, we've saved the best for last. Chris Mounts wants to know, when Lorraine Warren is scissoring the evil out of Rose the Hat in Rolf and X's fanfic, does Ed just stand in the corner and hold his wife's purse the whole time?
All right. This is going to take some explanation, okay? Somehow, Rolf Pickler and I got into a discussion of a sexual relationship between Lorraine Warren and Rose the Hat, the villain from Dr. Sleep. Now, I've read somewhere that Ed and Lorraine Warren had a third member of their relationship. She was a woman who lived on their property in a detached garage. So I thought, well, yeah, shit. Rose would fit into that weird sort of conglomeration like the Warrens, no problem. But the problem is, now we have to talk about the Warrens, and I guess by tangential connection, our opinions of the Conjureverse. Because by virtue of those movies, Ed and Lorraine Warren have become folk heroes. And Rose the Hat, with her tendency towards eating children and burying them under the Little League ball field, has not.
Yeah, she has not.
We've seen every Conjureverse movie. We have. Every single fucking one of them. We finally broke down a few weeks ago and watched the third one, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And it's an interesting kind of shift from the other two main franchise Conjuring flicks, because in this one, Ed and Lorraine really become sort of like, almost like Nick and Nora Charles. You know, they're going to, they have a case, and they're going to solve the case, and they're like detectives in this. But it bases itself a lot on Lorraine's psychic visions, which I don't know if she actually had those in real life. I mean, I just, there's no way to prove if she did or did not.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
But for being a franchise which is essentially horror movies for Catholics, the Conjureverse is not bad, but I think I liked this last one more than I liked the first two. I liked the shift of them not being just, you know, the soldiers of the light or some bullshit like that, and coming down to we're doing actual research, we're visiting people, we're talking to the cops and getting case files and shit like that. I liked that idea. I liked that a lot. But I also enjoyed how, spoilers, in the end of The Devil Made Me Do It, it wasn't just this point in a ritual where God comes down and smacks his mighty hand against the demon. It wasn't that at all. It was fucking Ed Warren with a goddamn sledgehammer. That shit was awesome.
It was so great. It was so Triple H.
It really was. It was Triple H. So a lot of people are dragging the third Conjuring movie. I liked it better than the other two. Probably just me, but fuck, that was okay. It still had issues. It still had parts where I just fucking laughed out loud. Like, this is the stupidest goddamn thing ever. But even though it's based on a true case, which Rolf and I have talked about, it felt more like a fiction movie, and I think it worked better for me.
I really liked it. And I just have to say, going back to the question, Rose the Hat is fucking hot.
Oh, dude, she totally is.
Oh, my God. I don't know that I really want to picture her with Lorraine Warren, because she was not. But
Rose has better hair.
Well, yeah.
Lorraine's hair looks like a wasp's nest you find up under the eave of a garage.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much a work of art. I don't know that the actual Ed Warren would stand in the corner and hold Lorraine's purse, but
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
I think that the character that they have created out of Ed Warren in the Conjureverse movies most definitely would.
He'd stand in the corner with his fucking acoustic guitar and sing an Elvis song.
Just wanking, playing the guitar with the one hand, just strumming the best he could.
Meanwhile, Rose and Lorraine are 69 at each other, and Lorraine's praying, and Rose is biting too hard, and just... and Ed's
fingernails,
just like,
Rose, fingernails!
Right, and Ed's just like, so good. This is so fucking good. I love it so much. I'm so mommy, I'm so sorry. So I think out of the entire Conjureverse, though, I think I like this third one the best, and that's including a majority of the spin-offs, although those last two Annabelle movies, I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, those were fun creep.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one, and I fucking hated The Nun ever so much.
Yeah.
We paid to see that. We went to the fucking theater to see that, and we were so mad. It was just like, I'm angry at this movie. Let's go get drunk now because fuck.
Well, I still say I want to revisit all of them. I'd like to watch them all again.
Well, we've got them. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was supposed to sit here and say Valak. See if anybody gets possessed by that shitty movie.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, that took a little minute. Oh, look, honey. Stephanie brought you a cake. Isn't that sweet? Happy birthday, baby.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was kind. Do you have a knife? No. I want to get a piece of that.
Okay, well, I want some too.
It's chocolate. That is exactly what I wanted.
Oh, are you pleased?
This isn't chocolate.
Oh, it's not?
This is shit.
Oh, it's not good.
No, it's shit. This is literal shit. This is poop with frosting on it.
What? Stephanie! Stephanie! That was a very naughty thing to do.
I will throw up.
Oh, okay, honey. Well, spit it outside and get something to drink.
I just swallowed Stephanie's shit. Her shit is in my mouth. All I can taste is shit.
Okay, well, until next time, I'm Cootie.
Is this coleslaw? Did you eat coleslaw, Stephanie? God, I swear to fuck I can taste coleslaw.
That's X.
Hail Satan! Jesus, there's corn stuck between my teeth.
I think Stephanie meant well.
I have shitty coleslaw and corn between my teeth.
Well, happy birthday.
Fucking hell. Alright. Coming in free. Well, rephrase that.
Giggity.
This is your fault. You do this to me.
Well, we killed off the majority of the Native Americans and subjugated the rest, so we had to go elsewhere to look for people to portray them in movies.
That's right. We didn't think that far ahead. We didn't think, we're going to need these people in the 20s to play themselves to get shot.
Colonialism. Gotta love it.
Fuck-a-doodle-doo. Why do I write hard shit for myself?
You're writing for me, too! I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce those Philippine city names.
Well, I didn't write... I mean, those are real cities. I didn't fucking just come up with just like what a day.
I have been exorcising a young woman for many weeks now. 39 demons have already been cast out. 5 of these demons come from the movies The Try that again.
Right.
Demoniac.
Demoniac. Or demoniac, if you're Italian.
3, 2...
I really am in here. I'm just opening beers and doing shit.
Yeah, I realized when it was silent in my headphones, but I could hear the sound of the can being cracked open in there that that's what you were doing.
Michael and Sarah used to be married to Barbara Eden.
Oh, no kidding.
No kidding. That's crazy.
Well, she was a hot toddy.
Fucking A she was. Damn.
Sorry. Did I unmute too soon?
That was funny. I heard that. Cootie just blew her nose, everybody. She was...
No, that was me hitting the microphone with the napkin after I blew my nose.
Okay. All right. So, John's singing... John? Yeah. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm super glad that our daughter did not name any of her children Miss Wamakas.
That would be really difficult.
This is our daughter, Rhiannon. This is her husband, Brady. And here's our grandbaby, Miss Wamakas. Please call him Ted, because no one can fucking pronounce Miss Wamakas.
We'll just call it Missy.
That would be the river I would never remember on a history test.
It would be. You'd be calling it the Mixmaster River.
Maximilian. Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Don't remember what it is. Oh, shit. Fix that in post. Sorry, y'all. It seems like I had another question about the movie, besides just, did you like it? Because...
Did you like the movie?
I mean, obviously...
I like the movie. Fourth.
No, we've got at least 3. There's Jamie Simons and Lisa Carrillo and Misty Marchand.
And you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so 4.
Okay,
I guess
4.
I qualify as a woman.
3 out of 4 of those people I know get my comedy, okay? So there's that. I got that going for me,
The neck baby currently lives on the 10th floor of the Sisters of Jerusalem Hospital in San Francisco.
Got a prom night, Manitou baby.
That went other places.
It could have went that way. The prom night Manitou baby, the dumpster baby, the best.
Oh my God.
Dumpster baby there. The dumpster baby that's out for revenge.
Oh, fuck, I miscounted. I needed... They don't actually say that, do they?
They're like, it's nothing. She'll be fine.
Drink! Every time there's a cutaway to beautiful San Francisco? Try that again. In 3, 2...
San Francisco kid. Well, the bestest and most easier way would be sending a question to us by the Facebook group. That didn't make a goddamn bit of sense. Let me get another drink and I'll come back in on that. Fuck. Al's second... Oh, shit. Sad Satan. Is he in a shed? My sad Satan? Is he the one who puts me on the path to sadness and Led Zeppelin? Next up, we have the relationship questions. We have 8 questions. God damn it. Let me open this fucking beer.
Have another, darling.
I'm gonna. Watch me now. We get it almost every night. Okay, come on back in. 3, 2,